Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning in today. Previously, I will insert a card here. My video went viral for how to decorate an ugly wall. So today I am sharing this video, which is a contrast of how to decorate a backdrop, but this is a absolutely gorgeous wall, gorgeous hall, reception hall. But you want to notice right there on the stage are two mirrors. So as much as mirrors are great in any room space, but in terms of a party space where there's going to be a lot of lights, a lot of flashes going on, it isn't good. Because even if you see right now as I walk up and down the stage, my reflection is going on in the mirror. So this absolutely ruins your photos, especially for the photographer, because everything in the background is going to be a reflection. So it is absolutely beneficial for you to rent out a backdrop. Here's the benefits of renting out a backdrop. It adds a soft draping to the wall, so it creates a softness to the flow, especially if it's for a wedding. It makes it, and you can also customize it with your colors and flowers, as you will see at the end of this video. So this video is going to be in 5 parts. The first part, installation of the hardware. Second part is going to be installation of the draping, checking out for imperfections, and then finally raising the backdrop to the desired height. So make sure you stay tuned to watch along. If you have any questions or if anything isn't clear, make sure to drop a comment and I will respond to let you know how I was able to achieve this look. As you watch this video, I want you to keep in mind a couple of things that I use, I would take into consideration when giving out a quote for a backdrop setting. So first of all, it's going to be time. How long does this take me to do? How long am I working on your contract from start to finish? Literally from door to door. So from warehouse to here to setting up to therefore taking it down, and also accessibility of the hall. How accessible is the hall? Not just location, but accessibility. Is it up a couple of stairs? Is it on the main floor? Is there an elevator? Are there stairs? All that is taken into consideration when looking at pricing. Also gas prices during this time. We're definitely keeping that in mind as well. So I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you find it beneficial and I hope you find it helpful. I look forward to seeing your feedback in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because that tells me that you like these videos and I'll keep sharing more as I go along. One quick thing I want to add as well. This was a one-man job. And the reason for that is we're post-pandemic, so you want to make sure that you're able to minimize the staff. And also another thing to keep in mind, this is pretty a fairly easy job as well. Nothing is heavy, so this is definitely something that can be done by one person. It is a one-person job, but 2 people, if that's something you want to look into, that's 2 people. But that's, keep in mind, once you add a second person, that's an added cost, which therefore you have to pass along to your customer as well. So I want to hear from you. How much do you think this backdrop is? I know the brides want to make sure that they're sticking to their budget and making sure that this line item, they can skip it when they do. I encourage you, whenever you select your reception hall, take a look at the wall where you're going to set up your head table or your love seat or your stage, and look at the background. That is key to making a decision whether or not to add that expense of a backdrop for your wedding day. Thank you for your time. Have a great day. So here's a pro tip. We typically use 2 ladders. Shout out to Featherlight ladders, and they're super light. As you can see, one person can easily maneuver this job, and just as easy as that, we're moving the ladder over. And you'll see here that I'm now checking the draping, making sure that there's enough on the panel to give that wall that soft draping look. So we have our first 8 feet done, checking it all out, making sure that it passes the quality check. So every haul is different. So one haul and the other don't necessarily make the same. If this had been a darker wall, I would have to add a little bit more drapes as well. Typically, I'm adding about 1 drape per foot. As you can see here, even though I've added quite a bit of drapes, I've gone ahead and I'm now going to be adding one more drape panel to this 8-foot section. The reason for that is to give it more volume and also to block out more of the mirror. Remember, again, the goal here is that once everything is all set up, what is at the back doesn't really show through on photos. So therefore, that panel has been added. Yet again, moving the ladder over to the next section, which is our part 2, which is adding, we're just going to step and repeat the same thing again, using the second draping, the second panel, adding the drapes to the second panel or the second section of this backdrop. And here goes. Let's go. So you also want to make sure that you pre-measure the width before adding the drapes. Once you add the drapes to the hardware, the rod becomes very heavy. Well, not very heavy, but it becomes difficult to adjust it from, first of all, you're on top of the ladder, so you don't want to be adjusting because that's creating a hazard as well. So do all your adjustments and measurements whilst you're on the ground. And depending, again, as I mentioned before, how thick you want the draping to look, you're adding typically 1 drape per foot. And this is what we're doing here, adding the drapes. I think that's panel number 2 that we're going into.
Reach out to the sky. I found my way. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way. I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way. It all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way. I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way.
So now that the second section of the draping is ready, I'm going ahead, putting that up, moving over to the other section as well, and raising that, the rod as well, raising it up and attaching it. Everything is pretty secure, so it's nothing to worry about. It's not going to fall. Everything is pretty secure. Once you secure it into its spot, it will stay in place all night long. A full disclaimer, this is the exception of if it's gonna be a crazy party or crazy jumping or moving the pieces. But typically, if that is untouched, it's pretty secure. And one benefit to it, which most reception halls love, is you are not touching their walls in any form. Time to record content for our YouTube shorts and Instagram reels. We always need our extra content. So taking a different angle shots. And here we go. Again, we're checking for any imperfections, making sure that the draping is bunching up real nice and giving that soft feel and draping. making sure it's falling well, checking to see if there's enough in place. Very rare, but also making sure that it's the right length. So from ceiling to floor, that you don't have a short piece that's snuck in there. And now for the second part, raising the drapes to the desired height. So simple. Again, one person job, raising it all the way to the top to the desired height. I always typically start by doing that in the center. And the reason for that is, again, it's got to do with weight and gravity. So if we start off in the center, that's half of the weight of the drapes that has gone up, making the sides easier in terms of how much force I need to raise it up to the top. As you can see here on the side screen, you get to see a little bit of how the draping hardware works. So again, very simple, one person job and a little bit of playtime there. But as you can see, it's all one person. Again, so one side has been raised to the desired height, and this was about 12 feet high. This can go all the way up to 20 feet in some cases, without necessarily having a super huge ladder or a lift. Sometimes we do rent a lift if we're doing like 20-foot ceilings and we have some extra draping to do at the top, or an extra design or elaborate design that the client wants. Then in that case, we'll add a lift to the order, and then as well, that definitely increases the price as well. But again, you always want to work with the hall, what the hall has. These are our ladders, so we brought these in. However, and the reason for that is, if it's our ladders, we ensure how light they are and easy to maneuver and move around. Also, again, it's time consuming to be kind of waiting for a ladder or waiting for a handyman to bring you a ladder. But if you bring in all your equipment with you, you're able to move at your own pace and pretty fast. Again, pro tip, 2 ladders makes the work go so much faster. And now to raise the final piece. Let me know in the comments down below how long you think this took in terms of from start to finish. So once we arrived at the hall, setting up the hardware from start to finish, this was 12 feet high by 16 feet wide. So each section is about 8 feet wide, with 1 drape per foot. So that's about 8 pieces on each side. So we have a total of 16 drapes altogether. And now just going to do a little bit of back and forth, some tidying up. Now going ahead to put the ladder away, and that's a little pro tip I'm going to share with you as well. This makes it easy when it comes time to taking down. You're not carrying the ladders back into the room. If the ladders are already there, you can just right away start doing the work. So you will notice I hide them under the stage. A little pro tip that I share, because under the stage is pretty much empty. Rare cases, some reception halls do put tables underneath there, so that's a bummer, but still you'll find another section in the hall and place them in. Alternatively, you can take them back with you and then bring them back up. That's too tedious for me. I love to work smart, not hard, so leaving them there is not, I would say, a flight risk or a security risk. As long as they're tucked out of the way, out of everybody's way, then everybody's happy. And also, they don't know that they're there. No, how will they know? How will they know? Typically that. And typically, once we return the next day and pull them out, they're still exactly where we left them. So that's my pro tip on ladders. Once again, you can never be too perfect, so you want to make sure you're checking as well, making sure it's gathering really well, making sure it's falling well as well. The reason, again, another I would say tip I can give you is you want to make sure that the draping is as furthest away as possible, so that one, it's not a tripping hazard, and secondly so that it doesn't get dirty on the floor at the bottom. So I like to kick it all the way to the back, make sure it falls and gathers, gives this nice beautiful look. This setup was done during the day, so the uplights that are in the back that already come with the haul, so that's not an added expense to the bride. But sometimes our package does include uplights if the haul doesn't already have those, so we would add those at the back of the backdrop, and they could be remote controlled or set to one color, and just adding extra vibe to the room. And that's pretty much it. All done. Little bit of playtime. So just a little bit of a disclaimer. More content for Instagram and Reels. And on that note, please make sure you subscribe to this channel by subscribing, turn on your notifications, commenting and liking this video. That tells us you like this kind of content, and I'll go ahead and share more of my videos just to show you behind the scenes of getting it all set up and done for what you would typically see on a wedding day. This video is beneficial for you if you're the bride and you want to go the DIY route. This option is also available. Or if you're looking to go into business as a decorator for events, that's also an option. This is a great resource of passive income. Remember to comment down below how much you think this backdrop was rented out for. There's also a second part to this backdrop. More fun, more content for Instagram. That goes to show you that literally no sweat. There's no sweat. No sweat. It's a no sweat. I actually have fun doing backdrops. They're super easy, super fast, and typically I would do so it comes in different sizes as well as different options. Here we're taking our cover photo for this actual video. It's fun to watch. So thank you so much for sticking this long and watching the video. Please make sure to subscribe and comment, and if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comment box down below. I'll also add some notes in the description box, and I'll certainly set this to chapters so you can see it. Here's the complete look. Well, part 1 of part 2. You'll see in the next slide why I say that. This is an absolutely gorgeous room. So shout out to the Challenger in Montreal, and let me know if you recognize this room or if you had an event here. I've been working at this event for multiple years, way before it developed into a housing complex, when they still had an actual golf course outside. This is the tables all set up. Isn't this lovely? Beautiful black with some roses and baby's breath. This is the backdrop finale, added with the flowers. Compliments of the florist. Thank you so much for watching.